In this lesson, we're going to look at absolute value and kind of how that works. Um, so, absolute value basically is how far away a number is from zero. The students in a science class recorded the change in the water level of a local river. During which week did the water level change by the greatest amount? So, when you're looking at change by the greatest amount, that's absolute value in terms of move the greatest distance. And when you measure a distance like absolute value, your measuring is always positive. So it says use absolute values to represent the change in water level. So in week one, the change in water level went is negative 7.5, which means it went down 7.5. However, if you find the absolute value of that, it would actually be doesn't have my tools up here. It would actually be 7.5. It would be positive here. That would be a positive value. Whereas then the absolute value of two and 2/10 would just be 2 and 2/10, and the absolute value of -4 and 38 hundredths would be +4 and 38 hundredths. So the water level changed by the greatest amount in week one. Week one, because -7.5, while it's the lowest number on a number line, is actually the highest absolute value. So this would be the absolute value of -7.5 is 7.5. The absolute value of 2 and 2/10 is 2 and 2/10. The absolute value of -4 and 38 hundredths is 4 and 38 hundredths. This kind of lesser number represent a greater change in water level than a greater number. Explain. The answer is yes. 2 and 2/10 is actually the lowest change, but the greatest number. This is the lowest number but the greatest change, because when you look at absolute value, it has the greatest absolute value. So just a quick little walkthrough about what absolute value means and how it works with these